sugar, heat, fire, burn, pour, soak, simmer, brown, crystallize, harden, cool, taste, heat, fire, brown, sugar, heat, fire, burn, pour, soak, simmer, brown, crystallize, harden, cool, taste, heat, fire, brown, sugar, heat, fire, burn, pour, soak, simmer, brown, crystallize, harden, cool, taste, heat, fire, brown, sugar, heat, fire.
I loved the attention to rhythm throughout this piece with the sped up or slowed down rhythms bouncing off of the music score and that layering effect throughout, which worked to create almost a choral like effect of the images, but of the voices as well. Truly mesmerizing to watch these bodies, the environments, and the disparate parts come together in their collectivity. So I feel like it was a very cohesive piece that was quite effectively compiled and edited.
I see this as letting go and being free, connecting to the ground, dancing and being involved in the moment. A rebirth is happening and it's not an easy one. There's a sort of power you gain back by beating up the piñatas. I enjoy the different depictions of the children and the elders and their relationship with nature and the birds, and how much of a culture we get to see represented in the form of dance. Communication, togetherness, happiness. I like to see these women coming together in the forest to be in their own space, their own moment, and dancing on their own, yet together. It's bewitching almost. It's a closed circle community that you get to witness this moment that they get to share amongst them.
It was a beautiful piece with all these women in it and a jazz contemporary style. And I liked the group work. I like the group work, but also having these soloist moments in between, not so much as like stop, look at me, but having these individual movements throughout. Because while there was this cohesive line between each of the dancers and what they were doing, you could still find these, variations and individualized movements in between all of them. And it made it seem like, this is a group, this is a compact group, but we are all also individuals. And I think that speaks to a greater whole of like women and humans and, relying on each other and seeing each other and having these similar stories, but still being very individualized.
Music was very, it was very original, cool, very, it's kind of neoclassical jazz. I don't know what to call it, but it was very, very cool. I do like how it was kind of steeped in a sort of jazzy tradition. And then the performers, wonderful, wonderful performers on the screen. Every single person who appeared was just a wonderful dancer and a wonderful performer, and the choreography was great, and everybody, the costumes and everything looked great. Cinematography, editing, directing, the whole pacing of it is terrific. And the whole thing, it just seemed to be about like this, just these women in community together. And, there's kids too, and they're, it seems like they're, I think it's probably sugarcane, that they're, so they're kind of like farming and working the earth. And there's just this kind of like, earth community feel to this piece that really, really works. And that's really beautiful.
This movie was very surreal and, very dreamlike. I thought it was extremely expressive in its imagery and in its visual metaphors. This film is very much an assault on the senses. It has rich imagery, powerful music. It makes use of staccato cuts and very sort of staccato pacing. I also thought it had very good production value. It's set in a desert landscape, and I just thought it made great use of its location.
I loved some of what they did with the special effects, like how they would isolate a dancer's arms, and then they would manipulate it from shot to shot. I also thought that it was really cool how they had the shot of the tree and then there would be no dancers there. In the next frame, you would have dancers, and then it would kind of blip out as if your reality was having a hard time connecting. I thought that was really, really cool. The music was also really interesting. I liked what they were doing with it because it had so many different layers to it, and some of those layers were contrasting. So I thought that was really interesting.
Has a very powerful message if I'm interpreting the dance right. It's almost as if these women are wanting to be individuals while having the collective of a sisterhood at the same time. The dance shows very much their individualistic moves, but they're still a group of women, saying they still need each other. That way you can still be yourself, but still have that sisterhood behind you. That's a strong group of women that encourage you to do whatever you want to do. It's a very powerful interpretive dance that is beautifully constructed within the filmmaking to show the different elements of each woman and what is important to each of them. And it shows through the power of dance, which is a great way to tell the art form of what it means to be a woman, what it means to be within a sisterhood while still being yourself.